I think burnout is a real problem. We also are traditionally bare bones when it comes to our organizations, right? I was a one person show for most of my career. I was lucky if I got a mid-level manager. I think that was the way it is because a lot of legal teams are always run pretty slim.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Dear Ron. Cameron Ivy here at Transcend alongside Ron De Jesus. Ron, how are you?
I'm good, Cam. I'm glad you got my name right today.
Yes. I know
Small
who you are.
wins.
Small wins. What are you drinking now?
Today, I'm drinking some Earl Grey tea
Oh,
in this really great mug that my partner got me.
I love that. That's not one of those like keeps it hot type of mugs, is it?
It's not, but it's one of it's really hot right now. I can't pick it up. Oh my God, it's so hot. But
Did you get
maybe it's not the best mug.
All right, I love it. Dear Ron, how do I maintain like a good work-life balance as a CPO, kind of juggling multiple priorities and emerging and ever-evolving regulatory landscape?
I think burnout is a real problem and it's a real issue for not only CPOs, but most executives, particularly with, the privacy leaders. It's this constant influx of laws and regulations, states that are coming up with their own, filling in the gaps when it comes to whether it's healthcare privacy or AI regulation or the ever evolving ways in which regulators are also opining on how we should be doing things. We also are traditionally bare bones when it comes to our organizations, right? I was a one person show for most of my career. I was lucky if I got a mid-level manager. I think that was the way it is because a lot of legal teams are always run pretty slim. And so the focus on coming up with a FTE that was dedicated to privacy honestly has only been a development in the past 5 years. But it also depends on the company that you're at. If you're at a huge tech company, there's very robust privacy teams. Mid-level, mid-market, you're probably going to have one person. And if you're lucky, someone supporting you. There's a couple of ways you can lessen the burn. Use of outside counsel, if you're able to get the budget, does a lot of the heavy lifting there when it comes to keeping on top of if you have that outside counsel support. It's incredibly advantageous when you are trying to deal with just this onslaught of laws. Other strategies could also be assigning privacy champions. Do you know what those are, Cam?
I've heard of it, but
Yeah, instituting a privacy champion model where you assign privacy responsibility to folks that aren't in the privacy function. Someone in HR who might be a really good partner to you could take on that responsibility when you don't have any additional FTEs. There are ways in which you can spread and delegate your workload above and beyond just CPOs, Cam. I highly recommend that you take PTO when you can. I just took PTO. It's a good question because the burnout's real, especially when you're dealing with an evolving landscape of regulation.
yeah, I
Any
couldn't
other,
agree more.
yeah.
Over the years being a CPO, is there one thing that coming into it you were surprised that it was going to be a challenge for you? And how did you make that better?
Being a non-technical person, I was a little bit thrown into the deep end when I started my first role in tech organization when I was head of privacy at Tinder. But it was such an incredible experience because you get to learn the internal machinations of how to delete data, for example,
Yeah.
when you're working with engineers one-on-one, and to really understand the mindset of how other stakeholders outside of just compliance and privacy think about these requirements. So for me, it was getting into the more technical space, which was really, really challenging, but at the same time has really helped me talk to other stakeholders. Even right now at this role at Transcend, I have such a wealth of knowledge to share. And when I'm speaking with my peers, I'm able to speak their language and understand the technical challenges that they're going through.
That makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Thank you.
That's so important when you come into this position because you want to be able to have that voice with a small privacy team. If it's just me, how do I get included in those?
Speak their language. And if you don't speak their language, you're going to have a really tough time convincing them to comply with the law. It's a good tie-in back to the original question of how to deal with burnout. It's continually learning about the stakeholders that you're supporting, I think makes your job easier for sure.
Love it. Well, let's drink to that. And thank you for the question.
Still hot. It's still hot, but cheers.
Little sips, little sips.